Hey everyone, I want to start out by saying I'm not out to drag anyone or any brand or throw hate to anyone or any brand. This video is solely to put my perspective and feelings out on the internet. Everything I speak on or about in this video is alleged conspiracy, my theory, my opinions. So here we go. Hey, welcome to my channel, and if you're returning friends, welcome back. In my last video about ABH, I talked about the reasons Narvina had told us why the Pro palettes were delayed from being released the way she explained they were originally planned to be released. If you haven't seen my last video, I've provided links to it here on the screen and in the description box below. In the first 15 minutes of that video, I gave a synopsis of what Narvina was trying to explain in so many tweets, but here's a quick rundown. Narvina had wanted the Pro palettes to be seasonal releases, Volume 1 in the spring, Volume 2 in the summer, Volume 3 in the fall. She goes on to say there was a delay and that we'd find out what this delay was soon enough. On October 26, 2019, she finally revealed what that holdup was. It was the announcement of her own gondola display to be placed in Sephora stores. In Narvina's IG post announcing her new gondola, it reads, "I have waited a year to make this announcement. It's literally the biggest thing to happen to me, and I cannot thank Sephora enough for this incredible opportunity. You know you are official when you have your own space in a store, and this opportunity makes me so proud and emotional at the same time. Narvina is exclusively in-store Sephora with my own space. Isn't the gondola amazing? I know I've said a few times that you will know soon why all the Narvina Pro Pigment palettes launched at once, and this is why. I couldn't believe it when Sephora gave us that opportunity. It was a dream come true. Working with a huge retailer like them takes planning, and when the opportunity arose, I jumped on it, but had to wait for the gondola space to be available, which it will be on October 31st in all US and Canada Sephora stores. This is just the beginning. Narvina might go global with Sephora. This is why the Pro Pigments launched at once. They were set to launch spring, summer, fall, holiday, but I wasn't going to get another opportunity like this and chose to wait. I can't thank our customers and my followers enough for the support with the launch of Narvina, as well as the cast members for their continued support throughout the years. As you know, there are 2 Pro Pigment palettes available online with all other retailers, and that won't change at this time. Starting in 2020, Narvina will be exclusive to Sephora, and I have some really cool things planned. In the future, when you see a spring ABH launch and a spring Narvina launch, it's as if 2 different brands launch product, but not one launching all. However, Narvina is very much owned by ABH, having a different in-store display and products that never compete with the brand, but offer something different, very Narvina-esque. Narvina products embody boldly colorful, whimsical artistry and stand as the perfect counterpart to the best-selling core ABH brand. This is common in fashion and new for beauty, and I am over the moon about this. Love you all so much." I want to celebrate this obvious monumental moment with her, for her. I think having her own space in Sephora sounds amazing, and it sounds like this was a really big goal of hers to accomplish. Big congratulations to her, truly. But to be honest with you all, when I first saw her announcement, my reaction was, "Are you serious?" I was remembering what she had said about the delay in launching the Pro palettes, but some things don't make sense. So let's go back to her IG post. Here she says, "I know I've said a few times that you will know soon why all of the Narvina Pro Pigment palettes launched at once, and this is why." Okay, the few times she did say or even mention that some kind of truth will enlighten us all to why these Pro palettes were released one after another, many didn't catch that. I had to dig through tweets to find all her explanations as to why, or her saying that it's delayed. There was a delay and I'll tell you soon. There was a lot of confusion, and many, including myself, didn't understand why they weren't released at the same time. And even then, why didn't she release the Pro palette with her gondola on the scheduled day? Let's go back to her IG again. "This is just the beginning. Narvina might go global with Sephora. This is why the Pro Pigments launch at once. They were set to launch spring, summer, fall, holiday, but I wasn't going to get another opportunity like this and chose to wait." She released these pro pellets haphazardly. No organization. Their announcements were everywhere, and she admits that she is the cause of the delay. She chose to stop their seasonal release for this gondola, but they weren't released with the gondola. They were released more than a month before the scheduled gondola placement. In my first video, I gave Norvina the benefit of the doubt. I thought her explanation for the pro pellets being delayed made sense if the source of why it was delayed would be revealed soon, and as long as it made sense altogether, right? Well, it didn't make sense. Volume 1 was announced August 20th, and it launched August 26th. Volume 2 was announced September 18th. Volume 3 was announced September 24th. Volume 2 and 3 were launched September 26th. By now you're probably thinking, get to the point, Marisol. I'm almost there, trust me. The part where I'm confused about is why didn't she wait to release all the pro pellets till her gondola placement? She could have truly released all the pellets, including the 2 mini Norvina pellets, on the day her gondola would be placed in Sephora. One of the biggest complaints amongst fans is why didn't she release them all at once? And I think I found out why. Stay with me here. When I felt like I had collected enough info on this particular subject, I came across a Twitter post from a friend of mine. At Alkbeauty, it reads, I seriously think this was an afterthought. Sephora isn't the be-all, end-all when it comes to retail, especially since it's only physical stores getting an end cap. There isn't a separate end cap at Ulta. These aren't listed as a separate subsection on the website for retail. She had tweeted a picture of a tweet by Norvina that says, Norvina is its own brand with its own end cap. In no way was this a push to flood the market, rather to separate the artistry side from core, to assure consumers that things aren't changing. Granted, not ideal, the palettes were due to be spaced out throughout 2019. And then my friend's tweet reads on, this is exactly a flood the market strategy. Only 2 tweets could have gone out saying the Norvina palette would be a subsection of ABH, and people would have been cool with it. This is way too much product too fast. My money is going elsewhere from now on. What Norvina had tweeted when she said, granted not ideal, the palettes were due to be spaced out throughout 2019. To me, this is kind of funny because she's already said she made the decision to not release the pro palettes as scheduled for this gondola, but yet the pro palettes weren't released with it. So what gives? I'm with my friend at Alkbeauty. All Norvina had to do for a pretty seamless launch was to announce Norvina being a sub-brand of ABH and kept the pro palette releases on schedule when they were planned to be out. If not on that schedule, then she should have waited to release all pro palettes when her gondola was placed in store. But she didn't. And here's what I think happened. And I'll do my best to explain everything. As you know, ABH sold less than half of its shares, or a minority stake, to an investor group last year. Anastasia still owns a majority of her company, but investors now own 38% of it. Reasons for this particular investment deal to have occurred is because ABH wants to enhance operations and growth with a focus on e-commerce and international expansion. Remember global? Norvina said Norvina could go global. And I'd like to add that Anastasia herself has been abroad a good portion of this year promoting ABH. So at least that's going for them. So what does selling a minority stake mean? I will explain it as simple as I can at the best of my ability. What Anastasia did was sell a portion of her company at what she believed her company was projected to be worth in the future. So, TPG Capital, an investment company, helped finance $1.37 billion to ABH founders for a 38% stake, putting $700 million upfront. ABH went from founder-owned to private equity-backed operation. This buy quickly impacted earnings negatively with the increased cost from adding senior management. Remember when ABH pellets went up in price? This is why. After the buyout, ABH sat on 3.6% debt to their investors before EBITDA, which means earnings before interest, tax depreciation, and amortization. Their debt has since grown from 3.6 to 4.6 from the beginning of January 2019 to July 2019. This is not a good look for them. Their debt should have shrunk, or in other words, they should have made money in revenue, but they didn't. They lost 30% revenue in the first quarter of this year, and they still continue to lose revenue. So why am I talking about finances? I'm talking about ABH finances because to me it explains a lot of their decision making that has happened this year. Let's think back to the beginning of this year. ABH sales fell 30%. It could be said they lost market share because of celebrity-driven cosmetics such as Kylie Jenner, Fenty Beauty, Glossier, House Labs, etc. ABH has said that it faced supply disruption from a warehouse move and admit weakness in color cosmetic space since 2018 as well as market share. So if they already knew they were weak in the color cosmetic space, why wait to launch the Pro Palettes? They were already at a loss in sales, so why not launch a Pro Palette? I think they didn't go with the planned launch because they went with something else, their famous PR search. Loss of market share? Where? Got them with that massive PR search, made it so they were known all around the world. And I'm going to be real honest here, that to me, they used artists' wants for recognition to make up, no pun intended, for their market loss. They did not create the PR search just for the hope they'd send PR to deserving artists. They did it as a huge business move to earn back their market share. And I think they hoped that the PR search would have helped them recover from their terrible start to the year. Things seem to have just gotten worse from then on. Foundation and setting powder was their next big launch. That also was not enough to help their increasing debt. Then we have the Pro Palettes. This is when they thought flooding the market with color cosmetics will finally give them something to hope for, but I think it royally backfired. People are tired, people are fed up. And these are the things that came out of this recent Pro Palette releases. The never-ending launch announcements have taken the excitement out of new makeup. Consumers can't keep up and are losing interest. So you see, ABH has been in financial trouble since the buyout. They're trying to get into the positive, trying to dig themselves out of debt. These Pro Palette releases was a divide and conquer strategy by ABH, as ABH now has more than one brand to better achieve greater market share. But for the half-assed release of these Pro Palettes, I think they wanted us consumers to make the leap of purchasing as soon as they came out to please their investors. In my opinion, these palettes, along with the hype buildup that came with the palettes to the gondola schedule placement, was ABH's last chance this year to make its investors happy. In other words, ABH wanted to milk us for all we got. I feel very much fooled by ABH. My fault, evidently, and I wanted to share my thoughts with others. Maybe to help others come to a realization to how these brands work, up front and behind the scenes. Up front, we got the fan-loving face of Norvina saying everything and anything to make us feel happy. But behind the scenes, she's working to get our hard-earned coin. I know this was a lot of the other side of ABH that's not makeup. I feel like sometimes as consumers we forget that brands like ABH, ColourPop, etc. are businesses. They're corporations. And corporations are not people. Their end goal is to make money, not make us feel warm and fuzzy inside. I like to say again, all of what was said in this video is alleged, my conspiracy, my theories, my opinions. I will provide all references and sources for any number of figures I spoke about in the description below. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I appreciate you staying to the end.